Hey folks, it's Charlie here, and I'm excited to chat with a new artist who's breaking onto the scene who you are going to adore. It is Plain Jane. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. The sun is shining. It's cold, but you can sit outside and warm up. It's a good day
Mm.
today.
Yeah, that was how I spent my morning. I had a shower and then I sat in the sun for a solid hour with my cat, and it was just the best
Oh,
vibes.
it's so nice.
Yes. I am so excited to chat because you've released your debut single, Bull. I am loving this song so much. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, of course. I wrote at the beginning of this year, kind of like it was either the end of last year or the beginning of this year, but um I feel like I wrote it about like the fear of like entering like a new relationship. I feel like I can kind of be sometimes like a very intense person, and I
Mm.
have this like terrifying fear that I'm just gonna like absolutely steamroll someone and like ruin their life, which I know is so irrational. um and like there are so many things that like I wish I could be like not only like for myself but for another person, and like kind of accepting that you know what, I'm not that person and that's totally okay. There's not anything wrong with that. That's just me.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, this song feels like, I was gonna say it feels like a very modern thing and it feels like a very now thing, but I'm sure these feelings are like universal across so many different like times and spaces. But like particularly in this sort of like social media world, comparison is a massive thing. And you find
Yeah.
yourself like even unintentionally, you see something online or you see something in TV or you hear something, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I'm not like that, or I could be more like that. I should be. It's a bit of a trap and it's crazy.
The worst thing is when you see someone on a TV show be worried about something and you're like, oh my God, should I be worried about that too? It's a whole
Yeah.
new thing.
Yeah, or it's such a thing like you text someone and they're like, oh my God, like I'm stressed about this, and it's like, I'm stressed about this now too. Thanks for telling me.
Exactly, exactly.
Yes. Oh, I don't know whether it's because I'm a raging Aries, a raging fire sign, and like if someone's not a fellow fire sign, I cannot keep up. Like I need that energy, otherwise I'm just gonna like burn them out. Or if it's
Oh,
because I'm just like I get in my head a lot. But these lyrics, it was a punch to the gut. I was like, I feel very seen, but then again, also I'm like now I'm wondering about all these things as well.
yeah.
What what was it like writing this song? What was your songwriting process like?
Yeah, so the first verse, I actually wrote it. That was like the first thing that I wrote. And it was for a completely different song that didn't end up going anywhere. It was just something that my guitarist had some chords and I was just humming along and was just those were the lyrics I wrote down and sung. And then nothing else happened with that song. And then a few months later, I was just playing guitar and I just came up with the chords that are in the song. And those lyrics fit so well. And then the next verse and the chorus kind of just came spilling out. And then the last verse was a few weeks after that. And then after I'd written like those first two verses in the chorus, I had a rehearsal that night with my guitarist and I was played it to him, and like I think I was like a few lines into the song and he just like started playing straight away, like jumped in and played like pretty similar to what's actually on the recording. And it was just like, yeah, you get what this song is meant to be.
I love when things like manifest themselves like that. They're just like meant to be in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a good sign that like, okay, this is a song.
Yeah, and I'd love to have a chat about the local live scene. You have been chipping away for ages, doing shows here and there and everywhere, but you're only like just now putting together this debut song. What has it been like for the past? It's been a few years you've been performing around our scene, right?
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
has been.
What has it been like those past few years running around doing this crazy amount of shows, honestly? How has that been?
Honestly, to be honest, scary. I'm like terrified, not terrified, but people kind of scare me a little bit. Especially music people. I feel like they're very intimidating, even though I'm a music person myself. But honestly, the shows that I have gotten to play, I feel so lucky to like support really the amazing artists that I have And being asked to play is truly an honor. Or when you reach out to someone and go, hey, and they say, yeah, of course. That is definitely amazing. But yeah, definitely keen to be playing some more shows, which hopefully now that I have a song out will definitely help. I feel like it's been a long time coming. I was speaking to my guitarist and he's like, yeah, I've just been waiting for you to record for like 3 years. And I was like, thanks for waiting. I know.
Mm. Yeah, honestly, like this local scene has so many amazing artists. You go out and see an artist and you fall in love. You take like, a crappy video on your phone, but it's just enough to like you go, I'm gonna search them up online afterwards. I'm gonna find all their music. And then it's like they haven't actually released anything yet. And you just
Yeah,
sit there, it's like,
definitely.
how do I get to support them now? I've got to find the next gig they do.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely a bit like that. But honestly, when people do release music, like especially once you've been through that recording process, you
Yeah.
appreciate it more because it's a lot of work.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, I love it so much. And also, speaking of a lot of work, the life of a DIY like indie artist, it's insane. And that's me saying this from the outside. I've never put together like I've never worked for months to record and release a song. Like it seems hectic. What has your experience been putting together this song on your own, really?
Yeah, actually, I've had a pretty good experience. In the past, like I have recorded stuff, and a lot of the recording process has just been like going track by track. So I find that that actually just drags it out so long. And then I've listened to the song so many times that I'm like, actually, I hate this and I'm not going to release it.
Mm.
Um, so for this, it was kind of impulsive, kind of not, but
Wow.
I sat down and I was like, okay, I just need to record this song and I just need to get it done. So we booked a full day at Alchemix in West End and we recorded 2 songs and they were all like completely live tracks. So there's no overdubs or anything. There were 4 of us in one room, and there were baffles everywhere, which for non-music people is just soundproofing, so it didn't
Mm.
go into all of the mics. And yeah, I think the actual take we used in the version that everyone will get to hear is probably maybe the 7th or 8th take. And then the second song we recorded, I think we got it on the second, but I feel like we'd warmed up with playing Bull.
Mm.
But yeah, it was funny. I think after we did like the 4th or 5th take, I was like, that's it. That's the one. Like, I think that's the one that we're going to use.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, let's just keep recording. We'll do a few more, but that's definitely the one. And then we're listening to it in the control room. And I'm like, I sung the wrong lyrics. We can't use that one. But I think the take that I'm releasing is still amazing. But yeah, honestly, the way that I did it of doing the live recording, I think it was the best way for me to record something. It's not the best way for
Mm.
everyone to do it, but I think for these specific songs, like that's the best way to do it. And yeah, with the cover art, it's crocheted that I actually crocheted myself.
I was going to ask, yeah.
Yeah. And then I just put it on my electric guitar case and took a photo and then
Mm.
did some editing and yeah, there it
Oh, I
is.
love that. Honestly, like sometimes you see like photos and it's like it took a set of like 20 people, lights and cameras and all this fancy stuff, like makeup crews, hair crews, and it's just like that is a lot of money. That is a lot of time and effort.
Yeah, I feel like there's like this idea that people have that like DIY is bad, but I'm like, you can
Mm.
make DIY look professional. I love
Yeah.
crafting. And I think that it is like a cost-effective way for you to do it if you can make it look the way that you can imagine. Like obviously having a whole production is
Yeah.
amazing,
Oh, if you have
but
access to it, you may as well utilize it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I had a chat with this artist like a few months ago who was putting out a single, and I was like in love with the cover art, like gorgeous coloring, editing. I was like, this must be a very expensive piece of like artwork. And she's like, oh, I took that photo myself and edited it myself. And I'm like, I love it.
Yeah, honestly, like the things you can do with an iPhone camera
Yeah.
are truly amazing.
Yes. Oh, I love it. And we're going to jump in a bit of a time loop here. This show is happening in a few days, but by the time people are listening to this, this would have happened a couple of weekends ago. So my apologies if you're just hearing about this for the first time and wishing you could go. But to support the single of Bull, you're putting on a backyard show with like, like acoustic vibes. You've got wonderful acts with you. I'd love to chat about your decision and the vibes to put on like this DIY intimate backyard show.
Yeah, definitely. I was talking to one of my friends and he was like, "Are you gonna do anything like a show for like the release?" And I was like, "Well, it's way too late to book a venue, so maybe I'll do a backyard show." So there was that decision that it was completely last minute. But I think the other thing is it's mainly about, for me, like accessibility, not only for the audience, but also for you as a performer. Like, decades ago, there was a time when music could be your full-time job. You'd release a song, an EP, an album, and 1,000 people would go out and buy the physical piece of media. Now, like 1,000 people will stream your song on Spotify and you get like $3.
And that's
like,
only if 1,000 people listen. Like,
yeah,
if
exactly.
900 people listen, you don't see a cent.
Exactly. And like I have a full-time job to fund my life and my music. And like I feel like a lot of people outside of the music industry, like people that just love music but aren't a performer or a writer or a producer, don't understand how expensive it is not only to record and release things but also to like even play music. Like if you want to play a show, you have to hire the venue, then you have to pay your openers and you have to pay them fairly because they're musicians like you. And oftentimes, even if you sell out a show, like you'll still be losing money or only make like a pretty small profit, which will just go back into music. So the show that I'm putting on, it's free because I just want people to have a nice afternoon, sit in the sun, listen to music and not have to worry about like spending $20 on a ticket and maybe not spending $20 on groceries. And like, I don't want to be the person worrying about breaking even. Because like for me, it's about like the music and getting to share it with people. And I also just love DIYing things. I'm a big crafty person. Like I said, the cover art is something that I crocheted. And then last night I made some merch for the show. So it's all like lino cut and just printed on some shirts I got from the op shop. So it's sustainable as well and will be cheap. And the thing is like that's an optional thing if you want to financially support me, but the rest of the event is free. You can just come along and sit and listen to music.
Honestly, I love that so much. Like, as a fan, yeah, sure, like sometimes it's good to like, go out to the valley, spend all night at a gig, and then it's like 11:30 and you're still waiting for the headliner to come on and the floor is covered in beer. Sometimes that is the vibe. But other times it's just like that is a lot of effort, a lot of overstimulation. I know how to speak, but like it just becomes an awful lot. And I've truly loved seeing little pop-up shows, backyard shows. There's a lot with So Far Sounds, which unfortunately isn't currently happening in Brisbane. But that was like a big favorite thing of mine, is literally just like going to a backyard, going to someone's garage and like watching them play. It feels so much more authentic as well. Like there's such a connection between like the artist and the song and the audience.
Yeah, I mean, my bedtime is 9 p.m. So I will stay up late for a show and I will stay up late to play a show. But sometimes it's nice to just have a little afternoon picnic and there's some music too.
Yes. Oh, I think it's so cool. And I want to circle back to that DIY merch idea. I have seen so many artists DIYing their own merch. I think it was the Empty Threats a few years ago had like thrifted shirts that were all tie-dyed and like every single shirt was different. Holly Hebe makes like hair clips off like jewelry she's thrifted from op shops. Eliza and the Delusionals were doing like hand-drawn designs on t-shirts because they sold out of merch overseas on tour. I love it so much. I'm in love with like sustainable fashion, reusing stuff, op shops. So I'm so excited to hear that, yeah, it's cost effective, it's fun, and plus there's a lot more variety you can do with that.
Yeah, exactly. Like every shirt is unique. There's a bunch of different cuts, different sizes are easier to find, and you're not contributing to fast fashion, which is always a plus.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool, and I genuinely think that is such a cool thing. Thank you for having those like levels of like eco-consciousness inside your processes.
I mean, I'm trying my best. It doesn't offset a lot considering like, all the big companies in the world and the pollution from them.
Yeah.
But it's the little things that you can do. I think they make a big difference. Like even with fast fashion, like I don't think I've bought something from like a physical store. I mean, I probably only would buy like a couple of pieces of clothing a year. Everything else is from
Yeah,
op shops pretty much.
literally. And like the things you're buying new are like things you physically like cannot buy at an op shop. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I love it so much. You sometimes see people like you go to shops and they're just like filling their trolley full of clothes, and I'm like, you've got a t-shirt for every day of the month in there, and you probably have 50 of those at home. Oh, it
Exactly.
does my head in. Yeah. I volunteered at the Billie Eilish concerts earlier this year, and we ran like a sustainable fashion booth. And so we were educating like the fairly young audience. They were like, from 12 up, talking to them, hey, are you gonna ever wear this t-shirt again? They're like, oh no, probably not.
That's
It did
scary
my
to
head
me.
in. Yes. Oh.
I
Well,
wear my clothes until they're falling apart and then I fix them and wear them more.
yeah. Literally, like, I've got a merch shirt on from Hope D, one of my favorite local artists. I wore this to work every day for 6 months. It has like bleach stains all over it. I'm still wearing it. I'm still loving it.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
especially like when you're buying merch shirts that are like 50 or $60, you're definitely wearing the hell out of them.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm. Well, speaking of like looking out for the future, I would love to have a little look into the future of Plain Jane. And could you tell us what we could expect from you in the coming months or the rest of the year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as I was saying before, when we did the recording day at Alchemix, I did record another song. It is a happier one. It's a love song. It's the first love song I ever wrote because I
Oh,
was too scared to write them and I felt like all of them were terrible. But I think this one's good. Um, so I'll definitely be putting that one out this year. And I'd really love to do a proper like release show at a venue with a band, which would be really amazing, and hopefully get the guys that I recorded with as well to play as a live show. Yeah.
oh, that's so exciting. I am a sucker for like a cheeky love song. And like sometimes you don't realize how cathartic they are until they're out in the world and then you hear everyone's responses to it. So I'm very excited for that one.
I'm excited too.
Yeah, I feel like it's a real contrast when you look at like artist discographies and there's always those like gut-wrenching songs that are a punch in the gut and then it's like, but actually I'm feeling different now. I'm feeling better now.
I feel like these two songs are like two sides of the same coin.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
it all worked out in the end.
Oh, I love that. That's so good to hear. Now, I'd love to take a sneaky peek into your playlist and hear which local acts in the local Meanjin scene or like across the Australian music scene you've been listening to and loving and you think we're gonna love as well.
Probably my number one local act at the moment, though they are overseas, but they're coming back for a show, I think in a month, is Tessa Fleur, who just has an incredible EP, I Can't Get I'm Alive, stuck out of my head, which is her latest single. Just an amazing discography all around and an amazing performer as well. I saw Katie L. Bedford open for Marina Allen at the Junk Bar, and that was truly special. But I don't think she has any songs out yet. I may be
Oh,
mistaken. But if you manage to catch her live, it's a treat. Um, Leo Hooker, who's also in the US at the moment, is amazing and also just a lovely person as well. Who else? Oh, my friend Joe, and he also plays guitar on the recording. And often, if I'm playing, it's with as a duo with him. He's done so much music. He released an album with one of his friends under the name The Dharma Bums. It's an acoustic album. It's so beautiful. And I've heard the stuff that he's recording at the moment, which will be under Alexander McCree, and that is sounding so cool. So definitely some upcoming releases. And then on the complete opposite hand from like kind of folky country acoustic stuff, I went to a show at the Junk Bar a few weeks ago, which was the Sacred Hearts show. It was the start of their East Coast tour. And they were incredible. And Fat Dog and the Tits, incredible stage presence. And I never knew that clarinet could sound so cool.
Yeah, I love when there's an act that like takes something you're not ready to expect, like, at a local gig and completely flips it on its head. That's so exciting.
Yeah, clarinet rocks, guys.
Yes. Wish I didn't give it up in year 7. Well, thank you so much for sharing those picks. I'm definitely going to add those to my radar.
Amazing. Yeah, definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, and on that note, anyone who's listening, please go check out Bull by Plain Jane. I genuinely, when I pressed play, I kind of just sat there and I was like, whoa. Like, sometimes songs feel like they're written like inside your head, like it's like how did you know that? How did you know that about me? Yeah. But
I'm glad it resonated. And you know what?
Yes.
You gotta learn to love the horrible, evil parts of yourself.
Because hey, they're not horrible and evil to everyone.
To some people, they're beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, truly, truly a gorgeous song. Yeah, amazing work. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you so much. I'm excited. I mean, when this interview goes live, it will be out in the world for everyone to listen and judge, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, as long as the judging is nice. Like, please judge politely.
Of course.
Well, thank you so much for making the time to chat.
Yeah, of course. Thanks so much for having me.